Action.
Hi, Mr. Alatorre. This is Stephanie Sipes, and this is my informative speech for Hawaii Pacific University. Hello, everybody. Today, I'm going to talk to you about King Henry VIII and his 6 wives. The most common misconception about Henry VIII and his wives were that they were all beheaded. However, this is not true. In fact, only 2 of his wives were beheaded. So I'm going to give you a brief history on the wives so that you will understand better. The first wife of King Henry VIII was Catherine of Aragon. She was actually married to King Henry's older brother Arthur at first, but because of Arthur's death and the fact that their marriage hadn't been consummated yet, King Henry married her and made her his queen. They were married for almost a good 30 years before Henry started having affairs with one of her ladies-in-waiting, Anne Boleyn. He decided he wanted to divorce Catherine, that their marriage was immoral because she had been previously married to her brother. Catherine refused to do an annulment, so King Henry made himself the head of the church and divorced her anyway so that he could marry Anne Boleyn. He only had one child with Catherine of Aragon, and that was Mary. So then he married Anne Boleyn, and they were only married for about 3 years. While he was married to her, he had Elizabeth, who then became one of the greatest queens of England. His marriage to Anne Boleyn ended because she couldn't provide him with a male heir. She did, however, have several miscarriages, and back in those days it was thought to be an act of evil, or what happens if you had committed evil was what a miscarriage was. So he thought she was into witchcraft and accused her of adultery, so she was beheaded at the stake. Then he married Jane Seymour about 15 days after he had Anne Boleyn beheaded. She was one of Anne's ladies-in-waiting, just like Anne was a lady-in-waiting for Catherine. His marriage to Jane Seymour was the only marriage that proved to give him a male heir, Prince Edward, which is what he ultimately always wanted. However, Jane died during childbirth, and that was the end of their marriage. King Henry was very saddened by this, so it took him about 2 years before he decided to marry again. At this time, some of the people within his little cabinet had decided that maybe he shouldn't marry for love because his past 2 marriages had been for love and didn't turn out too well. So they made an arranged marriage for him with Anne of Cleves. And when King Henry first met Anne of Cleves, he was immediately not attracted to her, and she immediately did not like him either. Their marriage only lasted 6 months before they decided to get an annulment, and she was quick to agree to the annulment as well. After the divorce, she received the honorary title of the king's sister, was given a castle, the Hughes Castle, and received a monthly stipend of money every month. Then he married Catherine Howard. Catherine was only 18 when he married her. She was a very flirtatious young girl. Her family was very poor, but her name was very wealthy. So she had spent a lot of time at a girls' home and didn't get to enjoy the life of luxury. So when she became queen, her flirtations got the best of her, and she ended up committing adultery several times on the king. He, though, was so in love with her, he was very naive. He called her his rose without a thorn and refused to believe that she could ever do anything wrong. Once it was brought to his attention with proof that he could not argue with, he realized that she was committing adultery and had her beheaded. The coincidence between her beheading and that of Anne Boleyn is that the 2 of them are related, they're cousins. So then, after Catherine Howard died, about a year later, King Henry then married Catherine Parr. This was his last wife. They were married for about 5 or 6 years before King Henry passed away and left her as a widow. She almost was beheaded as well. During the time that she was married to King Henry, there was an issue between Catholicism and Protestantism between the English throne, and Catherine Parr was Protestant. King Henry was very adamant about being a Catholic, so she had to worship her way in private. When it came out that she was a Protestant, it was thought that she was committing heresy, and she almost got beheaded, but she managed to talk her way through it. So these are the 6 wives: Catherine, Anne, Jane, Anne, Catherine, and Catherine. And one of the easiest ways to remember who was beheaded, who died, who lived, who survived, there's a little poem that they say in England, and it is Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. And that is all about King Henry and his 6 wives. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you guys learned something from that. Okay, that's it. Turn it off.
Isn't it Catholicism?